Hi, I'm George Gerbo, and welcome to Washington Times Weekly, where we get a chance to sit down with our reporters and dig into their coverage of the latest news and events. I am joined by our esteemed White House correspondent, Jeff Murdoch. Jeff, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, George. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been
Good.
so long because you are entrenched pretty much at the White House these days, whether it's in the
Yes,
briefing room or following the president around the country. And it's the biggest thing that everybody is talking about, including a lot of your reporting as of late, is these tariff situations. And kind of interesting that your reporting has found that the president is going to kind of insert himself directly in some of these talks. We've heard about Howard Lutnick and other people involved in these negotiation processes, but very specifically with Japan, President Trump wants to be himself a direct part of these talks.
That's right. And he's sitting in these talks because it's going to underscore how important it is for him to get a trade deal. He's put these tariffs on hold while he tries to negotiate trade deals with all these countries. And Japan came in yesterday. He personally sat down in the meeting to try to hammer out a deal because that's where we import most of our automobiles from. And any trade war with Japan is going to raise the price of automobiles. And him sitting in there trying to come up with some kind of deal with Japan, it's absolutely critical. It's one of the most critical countries we need to strike a deal with. And I think that he understands that. And that's underscored by him sitting in at that meeting.
And as it relates to cars, Jeff, that's kind of where a lot of people are, up in limbo in a lot of ways. Should I buy a car now? If you've got a used car and you're looking to trade it in, is the value going to go up if the cost of new cars is going to increase based on these tariffs that could make cars, including from Japan, Germany, and elsewhere, more expensive potentially in the coming days, weeks, and months?
Well, that's right. And it's not even just that the price of the cars themselves. We're looking at all the materials. Steel and aluminum are going to be more expensive if these tariffs go through as promised. Some of the stuff we use to build the cars and the computer chips. We're going to see all of that stuff go up sooner or later, and that is going to really, we might see a run on people purchasing cars now, and then it's probably going to drop off if these prices go up to the level we think it will.
And kind of moving on to another subject that President Trump has been involved in, Social Security, any potential Social Security reform that may come down the road. Democrats, of course, generally get up in arms when those entitlement cuts and reforms come into play or get even talked about. And they brought out none other than former President Biden, who's come and given his first speech since leaving the White House, talking to a group in Chicago about the need to protect and defend Social Security. Why now, of all topics, Social Security for the former president to come out and speak on?
Well, I think it's a safe topic for him. It's a topic that he has given a lot of speeches about during his presidency. It wasn't cut during his presidency. It's a way for him to sort of wade back in, which he clearly wants to do. Wade back in and be a help to the Democrats. Democrats are struggling to find their voice right now. They're looking for somebody to step up and criticize. Joe Biden left under a very dark cloud. He left with Republicans disliking his administration. He left with Democrats holding him responsible for Trump's victory. And it's a safe topic with a friendly crowd to sort of get him back into the swing of things to try to be a voice. Democrats don't have a voice right now. They don't have a leader right now. And this is a way for Biden to try to ingratiate himself back into the party slowly but slowly. One of the things I think will be interesting is, presidents, they always seem to do better after they've left office. Their history kind of whitewashes some of the problems. There's a lot of problems with the Biden presidency. I mean, from the covering up of his decline to his economic policies to the way the Democrats were frustrated with his refusal to drop out for so long, which they blame for handing the election to Trump. All of that is stuff that he needs to try to clean up if history is going to remember him well.
And we'll close out with probably my favorite story that you've done in the last couple of weeks, and it's about the shrimp industry, actually. And it's one of those industries that may actually see a benefit from potential tariffs because a group has done a survey that nearly half of all shrimp that Americans eat, specifically in those Gulf Coast states, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, is not from the United States when they are saying it is domestic shrimp and it is in fact imported from other countries, which is kind of wild to think about.
Oh, that's right, George. It's unbelievable. We have people going to, people all over the country are flocking to the Gulf Coast to eat at restaurants in Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, and they're finding that this isn't domestic shrimp. These restaurants are bragging that it's domestic shrimp, and they're selling T-shirts that I ate domestic shrimp, all kinds of trinkets saying that you ate Gulf Coast shrimp, and it's shrimp that's come from Vietnam, it's come from China, it's come from India, it's come from all over, any place but domestic Gulf Coast. And what's really interesting is the shrimp industry has been dying for a long time. The shrimp industry in the U.S. The reason for that is we don't have tariffs on the shrimp that's imported here into the United States. And that makes it incredibly cheap to use that shrimp. When you look at a U.S. domestic shrimper, they've got to get diesel for their boat. They've got to hire a crew. They've got to do all these things. It makes the cost of being a shrimper in the U.S. prohibitively expensive. This is one industry that has really welcomed the tariffs, because by putting the tariffs on the shrimp, it's going to start making imported shrimp way more expensive. But as a consumer, one of the things you need to be aware of, if you're going to these restaurants and they're saying that this is fresh caught fish from the Gulf and it's imported, they have a lot of antibiotics in the imported shrimp. They do that because it's a way to keep it healthy while they're being shipped. If if you're eating that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there that's not healthy for you. There's a lot of stuff in there that's bad for you. We the FDA last year stopped a bunch of shipments from China because it had so many antibiotics in it.
Hmm.
And I think that's something people should be aware of, that not only are they being deceived, but it also puts their health at risk.
Yeah, you can check the labels in the grocery store on a bag of shrimp. We might have to be doing the same, or ask your local restaurant to do the same when you're out dining, especially down on the Gulf Coast. Jeff, appreciate the insight as always. Be well.
Thanks, George. Really appreciate it.
And a reminder that you can find all of Jeff's reporting at WashingtonTimes.com and on social media. I'm George Gerbo. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.